Have you ever gazed up at the stars and wondered what tomorrow holds? What the future has in store for us, for our children, for humanity itself? It's a question that has echoed through the ages, a fundamental part of the human experience. Did you know the Bible, a book many see as a guide for the present, also contains verses that speak directly about the future? It's filled with prophecies, promises, and visions of what is yet to come. These aren't just vague predictions. They are intricate threads woven into the very fabric of Scripture, offering glimpses into a destiny foretold centuries ago. These ancient words speak of hope, of mystery, of a world transformed. They paint pictures of a future free from suffering, but also warn of challenges we might face along the way. They whisper of a divine plan, a story that is still unfolding. It's a profound and sometimes daunting subject, one that invites us to look beyond our immediate lives and consider the grander narrative at play, a narrative that stretches from the dawn of creation to the very end of time itself. So, I invite you to join me on a journey. Together, we will travel through the pages of this sacred text, not as experts, but as fellow seekers of wisdom. We will explore some of these powerful scriptures, listen to what they have to say, and ponder their meaning for our lives today. Let's unlock the future, together, and discover what these ancient prophecies might reveal about the world of tomorrow. Our journey begins not with a vision of fire and brimstone, but with a message of profound comfort and reassurance. It comes from the prophet Jeremiah, who spoke these words to his people during a time of immense suffering and exile. In the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29 verse 11, we find a promise that has resonated through millennia. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Imagine hearing these words when all seems lost, when your world has been turned upside down. It's a declaration that even in our darkest moments we are not forgotten. This verse speaks to a future that is not random or chaotic, but one that is held within a larger, benevolent design. It suggests that behind the veil of our daily struggles there is a purpose at work. The promise isn't for a life devoid of hardship, but for a destiny guided by a force that intends for our ultimate well-being. It's a powerful counter-narrative to the despair that can so easily take root in the human heart. It tells us that our individual stories are part of a greater plan, one that leads not to destruction, but to prosperity and hope. The assurance here is deeply personal. The scripture doesn't speak of vague plans for humanity at large, but of plans for you. This transforms a grand cosmic prophecy into an intimate whisper of encouragement. It invites each of us to believe that our future, with all its uncertainties, is being woven into a beautiful tapestry. It's a reminder that no matter the circumstances, there is a divine intention working towards a future filled not with harm, but with the enduring light of hope. While some verses offer a clear promise of hope, others introduce an element of profound mystery. They remind us that while we may be given glimpses of the future, the complete picture remains beyond our grasp. In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 24 verse 36, Jesus himself addresses this very subject. He speaks of the end of the age, a time of great change, but concludes with a humbling admission. But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. This is a powerful statement about the limits of human and even celestial knowledge. This verse serves as a caution against certainty and dogmatism. Throughout history, many have tried to calculate the exact date and time of the world's end only to be proven wrong. Matthew 24:36 stands as a direct rebuttal to such efforts. It tells us that the specific timing of these ultimate events is a secret held by God alone. It shifts our focus away from trying to crack a cosmic code and instead encourages a state of readiness, of living each day with purpose and integrity, knowing that the future is in hands far greater than our own. The mystery, in a way, is a gift. It prevents us from becoming complacent, or from living in a state of constant, paralyzing fear of a specific date. Instead, we are called to a posture of watchfulness and faith. The verse doesn't say do not think about the future, but rather do not claim to know the unknowable. It's an invitation to embrace humility, to trust in a divine timeline that we cannot fully comprehend, and to focus on how we live in the here and now, in light of the future that is to come. From the mystery of the unknown, we turn to one of the most vivid and hopeful visions of the future found anywhere in Scripture. It is a promise that speaks directly to the deepest pains of the human condition. In the final book of the Bible, Revelation, chapter 21 verse 4, The Apostle John describes a new reality, a new creation. He writes, "He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." This is not just an improvement on our current world, it is a complete transformation. Think for a moment of the weight of this promise. Every tear wiped away, every loss undone. The finality of death, which has haunted humanity since the beginning, will be no more. The verse describes the abolition of all that causes us grief, mourning, crying, and pain. It speaks of an old order of things, suggesting that the very system of suffering that defines so much of our existence will be dismantled and replaced by something entirely new, something perfect and whole. This isn't just a spiritual metaphor, it's presented as a tangible future reality. It's the ultimate answer to the question of why there is suffering in the world. The prophecy suggests that pain is not the final word. It is a temporary condition, part of an old order that is destined to pass away. For anyone who has ever mourned a loss, felt the sting of pain, or shed tears in the darkness, this verse offers a profound and powerful hope, a vision of a future where all wounds are healed, and all sorrow is turned to everlasting joy. Not all prophecies are about the distant cosmic end. Some speak of changes that would unfold within human history itself, signs pointing toward the latter days. The prophet Daniel, a man of visions and wisdom, recorded such a prophecy. In the final chapter of his book, Daniel 12 verse 4, an angel gives him a peculiar instruction regarding his visions. "But you, Daniel, roll up and seal the words of the scroll until the time of the end. Many will go here and there to increase knowledge." This prophecy links the time of the end with two specific phenomena: increased travel and an explosion of knowledge. Let's consider the world in which Daniel lived, over 2.5 millennia ago. Travel was slow, difficult, and dangerous. Knowledge was a rare commodity, painstakingly copied by hand and accessible to only a select few. The idea that many will go here and there on a global scale would have been unimaginable. Yet, in our modern age of jet travel and instant global mobility, humanity is constantly on the move, traversing the planet in a way that truly fits this ancient description. People go here and there more than at any other point in history. Even more striking is the prediction of an increase in knowledge. The last century alone has witnessed an information explosion that dwarfs all of preceding history combined. With the advent of the internet, we have the accumulated knowledge of our species at our fingertips. Scientific discoveries, technological advancements, and the sheer volume of accessible data have grown exponentially. This verse from Daniel seems to describe our current age with startling accuracy, suggesting that this very explosion of travel and information could itself be a sign that we are living in the time of the end that the prophet foresaw. The Bible's view of the future is balanced. Alongside promises of hope and knowledge, it also contains sober warnings about the challenges humanity will face. The Apostle Paul, in his second letter to his protege Timothy, provides a detailed and unsettling description of the human character in the last days. In 2 Timothy chapter 3 verses 1 through 5, he writes, "But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal." This is not a prophecy of earthquakes or famines, but a prophecy about the decay of the human heart and the breakdown of society. Paul paints a picture of a culture consumed by narcissism and materialism, lovers of themselves, lovers of money. He describes a rise in arrogance, disrespect for authority, and a breakdown of familial love. It's a world where gratitude is scarce and holiness is mocked, where people are driven by their impulses without self-control, and capable of great cruelty. The list is long and chillingly specific: treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Paul concludes by saying that these people will have a form of godliness but denying its power. This suggests a society that may maintain the outward appearance of religion or morality, but lacks the genuine substance, the true transformative power of faith. As we look at the world around us with its social divisions, its public discourse, and its shifting values, we are forced to ask, are we seeing the fulfillment of Paul's warning? Are these the difficult times he foretold? We have journeyed through prophecies of hope and warnings of hardship. We've touched upon the mystery of divine timing and the promise of a world without tears. From Jeremiah's assurance of a planned future to Paul's description of difficult days, these verses paint a complex, multifaceted picture of what is to come. They are not just stories from an ancient past. They are living words that challenge us to look at our world and our own lives with a new perspective. They ask us to consider where we are in this grand, unfolding narrative. I encourage you to reflect on these scriptures, let them sit with you. Consider what the future holds, not with fear, but with a thoughtful and open heart. Do you see the signs of increased knowledge Daniel spoke of? Do you feel the hope of Revelation's promise in a world that often seems filled with pain? These ancient words invite us into a conversation, a deep and personal contemplation about our ultimate destiny and the meaning of our time on this earth. The future is a path we all walk together. What do these prophecies mean to you? How do they resonate with your own experiences and observations of the world? I invite you to share your thoughts, your questions, and your reflections in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation, learning from one another as we all seek to understand the future that awaits us. Thank you for joining me on this journey.